Turn your lights down low and listen to the Masters Radio.
I've been going around the country, and I feel like on a gospel level, I'm saying to people, I'm saying to young hip-hoppers, I'm saying to people from whether you're black or white, you need to accept Neil Young into your life if you're a Canadian musician. Once you do that, your light will shine. It's cool. I mean, I love Maestro. I feel the same way about people accepting him into their lives as a forefather of that music, but I feel like sometimes it's not an equal thing. I feel like rock and roll people are open to black music a lot, whereas hip-hoppers and black people don't really get in touch with their inner white person. You got to do that.
How much of music is just magic and vibe, and how much of it is skill and technical proficiency?
That's a sick question. I'm glad I took the flight just to answer that question out here. I think music is magic. It's the last form of magic we have, and I feel like that magic really comes from performing off the floor. The thing with The Dog Is Mine is that's me, Ryan Dahl, who is in Age of Electric. He's on guitar and also playing bass on that. My drummer from like all back Crucial days, Ray Garraway, who used to be in a band called Salvador Dream. If people know, I can name drop. He was the drummer of that band. And I was like, we had one day left in the studio, and I was like, let's just do this thing let's record off the floor. And that's why the song has that boombastic like attitude to it, because it's dudes playing rock and roll.
What is the worst thing you ever lost in a breakup?
My soul. For a small amount of time. I mean, The Dog Is Mine. I mean, I had dogs all growing up, but this was really 3 of my friends and myself all broke up with girls at around a similar time, and mine was the shortest breakup. So I was the least underwater, so I had perspective, and I'd be like, no, it's cool, and we're gonna let's go out, and like I was trying to be the cheerleader. And then out of those relationships, 3 of them, 2 of them were like now about the dog, and I was like, and I would be talking to my dudes at the bar, and they're like, but I'm taking the dog. I'm like, dude, this is not about your dog right now. People want to win after relationships. People want to be able to tell their friends, well, yeah, I'm kind of winning. When it's like nobody wins. If you love someone, then you're both losing.
Now, your new record, Black on Blonde, was recorded at kind of an interesting venue too, from what I understand.
Yeah, a good friend, Hayden Christensen, who's one of my best friends, who played Darth Vader. I'm a Star Wars freak. This is how we met. I saw him on a plane, and I kind of mobbed him, and he ended up knowing who I was, weirdly enough. And
your record was recorded at Darth Vader's house.
Basically, right?
Well, you mentioned Sam Roberts, too. There's a ton of really cool collaborations on this record. Emily Haynes from Metric, Sebastian Granger of DFA, Corey Hart. Is that the sunglasses at night, Corey Hart?
Yeah, that's him.
He's on your record.
He's on my record. That's just a whole other story of, like, the Junos and, like, wanting to do something cool for the Junos in 2008. Sunday Morning was out, and I somehow got his email from an industry heavyweight, and I emailed him like a kid, like, dude, Sunglasses is the same key as like Sunday. Could you imagine if you came out and just like don't mess around with the guy at the end of Sunday Morning? And he hit me back like not even a couple hours. He's like, oh, I'm a fan, and thanks for reaching out. My daughters, who are heavy tennis players, had a tournament. He couldn't do it. I was kind of bummed, but he actually would like still contact me. How was the Junos? And that was the beginning of it. Just like talks about the industry. Like I'd be down on something. He's like, oh, don't get down, man. This is just this. And he's like, he's a painter. He'd send me his paintings. Like he's evolved way beyond sunglasses. Like talking to that guy, he's like, it's like that whole thing of when when the people's ready, the teacher appears. I didn't think it would be Corey Hart. By the time I get to the good people of Edmonton, the show will be primed and dope, and like we would have played the most of the tour. And that's why Calgary and Edmonton, have always been really cool for me, because by the time we get out here, we've played everywhere else, and we're like kind of getting our juices out, and it's really fun I associate coming to these Calgary and Edmonton with like being at that point in the game where you like your set list is perfect, you've played it a couple times, so I'm excited about that.
You know what? Last time you were in this room was, I think it was 2006, December 2006.
Yeah.
It's about 6 years ago. If you're coming through again,
you
want to bring your band through here, man, we'd love to have you back.
I had a good time. I love like when people. It's a small room. It's the truest form of communication. So if you guys will have me, I'll be here for sure.
My name is George Strombolopoulos on WKOS, and the question is simple: who does the dog belong to? The dog is mine.